13 WMAZ meteorologist Alex Forbes with you on this Sunday morning. You are looking live at the DUB. Check out that shot. It's fairly nice as the sun came up about 15-20 minutes ago. 72 degrees, the current number. Humidity at 88%, not quite at 100% like we just saw in Macon and Warner Robins. So the fog, not as much of an issue in this part of Lawrence County at the moment, but in other parts of the state it is. Here's a look at current temperatures across the region. 68 still in Gordon, 69 in Eastman. A few communities got down into the 60s last night, rebounded into the 70s for the most part, 70 here in Macon and Warner Robins. Elsewhere across the southeast, looking at some rain across the Magnolia State into Arkansas, and then also down along the coast there in the Gulf of Mexico. And that's where our attention is going to be in the coming days, the Gulf of Mexico. So let's go through today some isolated showers and storms, the run-of-the-mill summertime pattern here in central Georgia, warming up to in the mid-80s here by noon. Then once we get into the afternoon, some heavy downpours possible, 5-6 o'clock. This is going to be a south to north motion today. And then tomorrow morning, 72 degrees, a typical summer morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, that's when we kind of get into that transitional time. Notice a south to north motion tomorrow as well. Now, tomorrow's showers and storms going to be indirectly related to what is currently just Fred. It's not a tropical depression, not a tropical storm. I'll explain that here in just a minute. But then as we roll through the day Monday, we're going to see that south to north motion continue. And then, hello, what is that off to the west? This is what is expected to be at this time tropical depression Fred. So some heavy downpours, gusty winds possible in the westernmost parts of our area as we head through the overnight Monday into Tuesday is what we're looking like here in central Georgia. So here's the latest on what is currently the remnants of Fred. It is not a tropical cyclone at the moment because it lost its closed circulation yesterday. However, the forecast is for it to regain its tropical storm status as it continues this northward motion, making landfall somewhere in the Pensacola region Tuesday overnight as a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, and then coming up through central Alabama and eventually into northwestern Georgia. Now, if you were watching last night, this is a change in the cone. We had the cone more on the Alabama-Mississippi line. Now it's back into central Alabama, so closer to central Georgia. Not really changing our impact, still looking at a lot of rain. Because of that, the National Hurricane Center has issued this tropical storm watch from Pensacola up towards Dothan, Panama City, and over into the Big Bend. This could be expanded here in a couple hours and also transitioned to a warning. That is very much a possibility. Here's the latest spaghetti models. You can see they're in pretty good alignment. Anywhere from the Florida-Alabama line over to Panama City is where we're expecting the center to come ashore, and then the center about 50 to 100 miles away here from central Georgia, still looking at impacts here. Here's the tropical future view. This is the Euro model. I think it's got a pretty good handle of what's going on. So there's that tropical storm making landfall. Notice the outer rain bands in here overnight Monday into Tuesday. And then during the day on Tuesday, we're going to be dealing with rain all day as this thing transitions to a tropical depression, gets absorbed by the front to our north. And even though it loses its circulation, the moisture is just going to hang around. It's got to rain itself out. So we're going to be dealing with rain through the remainder of the week, unfortunately, here in central Georgia. Here's how much rain we're talking about. I'm thinking generally 2 to 3 inches here for central Georgia, higher amounts to the north and to the west. And here is the actual forecast for that from NOAA. You can see 2 to 3 inches from Butler, Warner Robins, Irwinton up towards Sandersville, higher amounts to the north and to the west. So here's what we're looking at in terms of impacts: 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts with isolated higher gusts west of Macon, 2 to 3 inches of rain. That's going to be the biggest impact for us with isolated 3+ inches of rain if you get the banding over you, and we'll be watching for some severe weather late Monday night into Tuesday. And just when you think we're done, we're not. We also have Tropical Storm Grace, which has just crossed the Lesser Antilles into the Caribbean, and that is continuing a westward motion, somewhat similar to what Fred did. And this one I do think is actually going to be staying on more of a westward trajectory rather than moving north, but of course we'll be watching it closely. As of now, tropical storm warnings in effect for some of the Caribbean islands from Guadeloupe up towards Puerto Rico and into the Dominican Republic. All right, let's get a look at the forecast models for this one. Like I was saying, a little more uncertainty with it, but I think it's going to be on more of that westward trajectory towards Texas rather than turning to the north like what we're seeing with Fred right now. 89 degrees the high temperature today, some more afternoon storms. Here is your 7-day forecast. 89, like I said, the high temperature for today. The good news about Fred, it's going to keep our high temperatures down into the middle 80s for Monday and Tuesday, and unfortunately football Friday night is looking wet.